broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching Now Media Television.
Welcome back, everybody, to Biz Talk with Sherman. I'm your host, Sherman On with Hotaling Insurance Services. Really excited for our next segment to dive in, tax planning with Ranjit. Thanks for coming back to the show, Ranjit. Tell us what's on our topic today to talk about when it comes to tax planning.
Well, good afternoon, Sherman. I'm glad you're feeling well. I was a little worried about your situation, but today we're going to talk about something that's interesting a lot of people don't know about, or even some CPAs don't know about, and it's something called the Augusta Rule. And it's a way for basically, if you have a business, and a lot of us do, and we have employees and we have meetings that are home, and a lot of things is wondering, okay, so I'll do my home office, which we did talk last week. There's actually another way for you to actually get more money out of your business and have actually more tax planning and more ways to reduce your taxes. Oh, could you let the producer know so I can share the screen so I can sort of walk you through it and how we're gonna handle the Augusta Rule?
Absolutely. We're going to get that set up right now. When it comes to this, I assume that because of a rule, is it named after someone? Is that how this kind of thing occurred, Ranjit?
Yeah, actually, when I was researching this rule, I was like wondering, why is it Augusta Rule? And I ended up something happened in Georgia it was during the Civil War, and it was weird. I was like, okay, this is odd. So there probably should be a book written about it. I probably need to read it just for fun.
All right.
So
I'm getting the thumbs up for the producer that you're able to then share the screen here.
Yes, I am. So basically, we're going to talking about is the Augusta Rule. And the Augusta Rule is basically, we all have meetings at our home, or some people do. Sometimes people do, some people don't. But you have team members, maybe you're a partnership, and you meet your other partners like, hey, let's meet at my home. And this is a great way. Well, basically, by doing this, your business can reimburse you from your business to you personally, and it's tax-free to you personally. So what the idea is, the first thing is you need to do is you need to find out what is a conference room cost at a hotel in your area. You want to go what's within the norm. You don't want to go to $1,000 conference room at the St. Regis, right? Or whatever the 5-star hotel. You want to do something like maybe at the Marriott or somewhere around the corner. Basically those. Usually from my research in the city of Houston, it's around $350 to $400. So we're just going to go through $400, right? And the IRS, and this also works if you're actually renting out your home on Airbnb, or if you're renting out your home on Airbnb, or think of any other random places you can rent out your home, or to your neighbor down the street. You can rent out your home up to 14 days and it's non-taxable. So there's basically, you can make 14 days worth of income and it's non-taxable. So what you do is you rent out your home to that meeting for 14 days. So that will actually make you a deduction for your business. Right here, as you see here, is like $400 times 14, about $5,600 deduction. That is a great benefit to your liabilities, and basically it reduces your tax. So let's say you're in a tax rate of 28%. This includes a self-employment tax, which is 15.3%. and maybe about 10 or 15% on your normal tax. That gives you up to a savings of $1,500. Oops. So that's a huge savings that you can bring out. And again, $1,500, maybe that's a lot, maybe it's small, but I'm assuming $1,500 can basically pay for all your Christmas presents, or buying a TV, or even a vacation to a couple of plane tickets. So, okay, so the major issues that you need to keep in mind on what you need to do and to take advantage of the $1,600 is, one, you need to have an agenda for each of your meetings. So have an agenda and basically write out what you're going to speak about for each of these meetings. Then have everybody in the meeting have a signature, basically have everybody sign on it. And then at the end or the beginning of the year, let's say in January of 2022, you need to submit all your 1099s. That's another whole discussion we'll have to do on compliance, which I'll probably bring up next week. is on apply 1099, but you could send a 1099 for rent from your business to you personally to your social. And when you do that, and you have to make it under 14 days on your tax return, and then basically you have an extra $5,600. And on top of that, you can actually deduct all of your the drinks, the food at these events, of course within reason, right? You don't want to go out to go to a 5-star restaurant and cater the event, but it can be within reason, right? Maybe $100, $200 for each of the meetings for drinks, food, and things like that. And that's a way for you to basically get paid, have a tax deduction on having a meeting at your home. And this could work through other things. Maybe you're having a party for your business, right? And like for other people or a party. A lot of these things can be tax deductible from you business to you personally, and it's tax free.
Now, Ranjit, with the Augusta Rule, with a lot of people working from home as entrepreneurs, would this be able to be something they could then leverage, or is that fall into a different realm?
That falls into, when you're working from home, that falls into the home office, which is already able to have maybe about $2,000 to $3,000 worth of deduction. This is on top of that. So basically, having the home office deduction is another $3,000-4,000. The Augusta Rule is another $3,000-4,000, and that's a key thing with tax planning. A lot of times people talk about what's that golden bullet that actually reduce all my taxes to zero. A lot with tax planning is not just one rule. It's actually multiple things you need to do. Home office deduction, the Augusta Rule, putting your kids on payroll, but setting up a retirement plan. A lot of these things are individual items.
So this sounds like to me, with the Augusta Rule, a lot of businesses, especially kind of that smaller family feel, will be doing end of year, holiday parties, and they might have their employees, although they're from other parts of the state or the country, they might be staying over. Or at the very beginning next year in 2022, they're doing beginning of year planning and they're bringing everybody together at that house, again, for that family feel, and people are staying overnight. Does that kind of qualify for this?
No, that's sort of a hard line. It's more likely if their family members are part of the business, sometimes I deal with a lot of family wives, not wives, sisters, brothers, they're part of the business. They can meet and have a normal everyday meeting. They can have a holiday party, and that could work. And then you can rent yourself out for your home, and that can work. But also the idea, and that's only a smaller, because it's like $500-600 deduction, because you got to think about it. It's how much is a conference room for a day or for at least 3-4 hours, and have that agenda. So holiday parties can work, but it's more likely, it's best to think about it is that you're having an ongoing meeting every month, 14 meetings a month. So you want to think about one meeting per month, maybe, and have an included holiday party inside there, and maybe also a New Year's Eve party inside there. So I guess it's yes or no to your answer.
Gotcha. So really, it's just going to depend. And so it's, again, the complexity of something like this when it comes to tax planning with Ranjit is it makes sense to be able to have a conversation with a professional to make sure that they're doing all the things that are necessary. And as you kind of mentioned, there's some compliance that gets involved with this as well.
Yes, and there is a lot of compliance with this. One, you also have to have a lease agreement from your business, from your personal to your business. You have to have the right documentation. You have to have the agenda. So there are some complexities to it. But at the end of the day, it's always about saving money, right? And all of these things are written in tax code. The government has said that this is what it is, and this is how people save money. And if the idea is people are talking about these things, I need to file my taxes at H&R Block or things like that. It's just, they're not going to give, they don't know this stuff. The H&R Block guys are just like 2 or 3 weeks of training. And here you go. You want to think about these ongoing discussions with your CPA.
And now, Ranjit, how can people get in touch with you if they realize that, hey, there's some certain things that I'm doing as a business that might coincide with some of these things like the Augusta Rule or my office, from the house?
Sure. You can give me a call at 713-258-0196. Also, you can email me at Ranjit at RANGIT at makh-accounting.com. You can also check out my website as www.makh-accounting.com.
All right, wonderful. Well, thanks again for coming on the show and talking to us about the Augusta Rule. Again, folks, this segment is tax planning with Ranjit. Thanks again to all of our guests who came on the Biz Talk with Sherman show. If you want to be able to follow us on social media, you can find us on Instagram. You want to watch a rebroadcast of the show, you can go to nowmedia.tv, and we look forward to seeing you folks. Again, this is Sherman On, your host from Hotelian Insurance Services. Have a great time. Sherm's out.
This has been a Now Media television feature presentation. All rights reserved.